Hey everybody, welcome to Board Online, Board Offline. Today we're going to be covering all the games that I've given away for this year. So every year, for the most part, throughout the year, I don't give away games, sell games, get rid of games, anything like that. I mean, you know, there's exceptions here and there, but for the most part, at the beginning of the year, I go through all the games that I have not played over the past year, and I rank them in the order of which ones I want to get to the table the most, and then the bottom 30% of that I get rid of. Now, the bottom 10% I actually give away on the channel, and I have a giveaway going on right now. You can find the video for that right here. You can enter that giveaway. There's 6 games that I'm giving away. I don't tell you what those games are. It's a mystery. It's a surprise for whoever gets those games. But you can enter the contest right here, and then you'll have your chance to win those 6 games. Now, the rest of the games, I've got, I believe, nine games here that I have traded away. I actually traded them with Board Game Co., which is my sponsor. And speaking of which, let me tell you about them real quick. Board Game Co. is a fantastic website where you can buy, sell, and trade games. They have a great selection for you to choose from if you're looking to buy more games to build out your collection. They have a really easy system to use if you're just looking to get games out of your collection. You want to sell games to them. Very easy system for you to use there. And then their trade system is really cool. If you have a Board Game Geek account and you set up a trade list on Board Game Geek, what you want in trade, what you have for trade, then you go over to Board Game Co., put your Board Game Geek username in over there. They will compare that list, that trade list you've created, with their stock. They'll build a trade list right there on their website, and then that will facilitate your trade. You can click what you want to get rid of. It has the values of those games listed right next to it. Click what you want. It has the values of those games listed right next to them. And click on trade. They'll evaluate it, and boom, you got yourself a trade. That's actually how I'm getting rid of all these games. So if you want to check it out, go over to Board Game Co. Click on the link in the description below so they know I sent you over there. Board Game Co. makes it easy to buy, sell, and trade your way into a better collection. All right, so as I said, we got, I think, 9 games in here, so I'm gonna go through this. This is not any order. I'm not timing this. You know, most of my top 10 lists, top 20 lists, all that stuff are timed, but I'm just gonna work my way through these real quickly and show you what all I'm trading away. So first off, we have Tides of Madness. Now, Tides of Madness was basically a Cthulhu take on what was that? What was that other game that it was a takeoff of? It was, oh man, Tides of Time? Is that it? Yes, Tides of Time. It's a 2-player drafting game, and not drafting the way that Seven Wonders Duel does it, where it's out on the table and you've got like a pyramid of cards to choose from. This is actually just passing cards back and forth. And it's pretty neat how it works, and you're scoring points at the end of each round. There's 3 rounds. This is the Cthulhu version of it. I actually only played this once. I did like it, but these smaller games, for the most part, don't make it to the table. I need something that with a little bit more meat on it. Star Realms is kind of the lightest style of game, the lightest type of game that we get to our table a lot. So Tides of Madness is heading out. Then we've got Tiny Epic Galaxies. Now, Tiny Epic Galaxies, I did enjoy a good bit. I believe I've got like 10 or so plays of it. All of them solo plays, but I'm pretty much done with it. I don't have a whole lot of just don't really feel the need to get that back to the table, and so that one's heading out as well. It's all dice rolling, and you've got these, your little ships, and you're it's all abstracted out, as many of the Tiny Epic games. Well, this is only a Tiny Epic game I've played, but from what I've seen, it seems like a lot of them are abstracted out a little bit. They have they push a lot of theme in there, but for the most part they're abstracted out, and this one definitely is. I think it's a lot of fun. I wonder if I'd ever play with other people, if I would want to keep it around more, but I've definitely played enough solo that I don't really feel the need to bring it back to the table for solo plays. Let's see, next up we have the Great Heartland Hauling Company. So this one is another game I only played one time, and I like to find if somebody said, hey, do you want to play this? I would absolutely play it with them, but you know, my primary partner for two-player games, or for playing with two players, and really actually these days with playing with people at all, is my wife. And she didn't have a whole lot of interest in bringing this one back out. So again, I think she liked it fine. She said she enjoyed it, but you know, anytime it's her turn to pick the game, this was not the one that comes up. And anytime it's my turn to pick the game, I don't really think about bringing it up either. Has some cool ideas, and you know, you set out these cards in kind of a map that looks like a transit map. You know, from back in the day when I was a kid. You know, before there was GPS and all that stuff, you pull the map out of the glove box, and that's what you're looking at. That's kind of what the map looks like when you build it as modular and everything, and you're just moving your trucks around the map, and you're picking up cubes that represent various farm animals or crops and transport them around the place. So that's the Great Heartland Hauling Company. Let's see, we've got Onitama. This one we played a decent number of times. I think we got around 10 plays or so of this, and what I love about Onitama is that it when you're playing, you have these different cards. You know, let me pull them out real quick. You have these different cards that show how you can move. So, you know, like you have Dragon, and it has this diagram of exactly how that lets you move. Or Tiger, you know, same thing. So you have multiple different versions of movement in here. You're only going to have, I think, either 4 or 5 of them out per game. So if you don't have that particular movement out, then you're just not going to use that particular movement. So that means every game there's going to be different combinations of movement available to you. And once you use a movement, then it goes to the other player. And so you can't use that movement again until they send it back to you by using it themselves. Really interesting. Had a lot of fun with it. 2 players only, and we just kind of played it enough to where we don't really want to bring it back out. So, Onitama. Next up, we have Soro. This is another fun one that we played a few times, and that was pretty much it for us. I think maybe, I don't know. I know that Tsuro of the Seas has a little bit more meat on it, I believe, from a game mechanism point of view. So maybe at some point I'll look at getting that one. But this one, you're putting a tile down and it moves your piece. Your piece has to move along whatever path you've just laid down. And the whole idea is you're trying to keep your piece on the board, not have it slide off the board, and the last person to survive, basically. The last person to not slide off, or I think you can run into other players' tracks too, and that ends up knocking your piece out. But the last person to still be on the board wins the game. Fun. Another one that the funny thing is, any of these, if I was at a convention or something, or at somebody's house and they say, hey, you want to play them? I'd say yes, but just not gonna, no need to keep it, in my collection, taking up room on my shelf. Let's see here. We've got, this one actually surprised me when I decided to get rid of it. I was a little surprised that, because I have enjoyed it. Oh, the box is kind of popping open here. This is Hostage Negotiator. And let's see, the box. Oh, the cards. Okay. I can't remember if I sleeved these or if I got them sleeved. I think because this game, I don't think I got it new. I'm pretty sure this was a trade. I think they may have come sleeved. Okay, so Hostage Negotiator, 1 player only. This is definitely a fun game. I felt like maybe it was a little too dice dependent, like too much dependent on your dice rolls. I've seen some comments in the forums that actually is just something that appears that way when you're first getting into the game, and the deeper you get into the game, the less it feels that way. I played, I don't know. I have to look at the app, but I think I played the app that I track my plays on, somewhere around 6 or 7 games of it, and I managed to. I played against all 3 of the hostage takers in the base game, and I think I beat all 3 of them. I definitely beat 2 of them, and it was a lot of fun. But like I said, it just felt like it was too dependent on my dice rolls and not enough mitigation. But that might, like I said, might have also been something that I just needed to play a little bit more to start figuring out how to mitigate them better. But that's Hostage Negotiator. That one's heading out. We've got Forbidden Desert. Now, this one, I've still got Forbidden Island. I think the main reason I'm getting rid of this one is that Forbidden Island, I think I'm about a year, maybe 2 years from my middle kid being ready to start playing it. Or she might even be able to play it now. She probably wouldn't make the best decisions. We probably sink and die all the time. But Forbidden Desert is a little bit more complicated than Forbidden Island. And I'm not playing it by myself. My wife does not like this game for whatever reason, even though she loves Pandemic and they're similar in game mechanisms. So no reason for this to stay on the shelf. All right, and let's see, we got 2 more here. We've got Magic Maze. I played a ton of this one at one point. My wife, my oldest, and I played a bunch of it. I played a decent amount solo. There's a solo variant in here, and it was just time. You know, this one has sat on the shelf for over a year, and I think we were just kind of done with it. It is a stressful game. It's real time, and you cannot talk. And you're flipping this timer, because if the timer runs out, you know, you lose, and you have to get to a certain point on the board to flip the timer out, or to flip the timer. And you're laying out this modular board the whole time, trying to find everything. It's a lot of fun, but you know, sometimes you just play a game out. All right, and the last game is Lords of Xidit. So this is, out of all these games, this is the one that I anticipate possibly regretting getting rid of. It's been over a year, obviously, since we played it, but this is one that my wife really enjoys and I really enjoy, but my oldest, she's not real big into playing this one, and it requires 3 players. You can do a dummy player if you want to, but I don't like the dummy player in this game. So it requires 3. My middle kid's nowhere close to being old enough to play it yet. This one's actually on Board Game Arena if you want to check it out there. It's all about, it's a programming game, so you program 5 moves at a time, and then players take turns, you know, doing move 1, move 2, move 3, and as you're doing it, you're collecting, you're building your army, collecting troops. It's really abstract though, because then you're not fighting each other, you're fighting monsters. And when I say fighting, I mean you have to have the exact right combination of troops. You go to that monster and you fight it, and those troops go away, the monster goes away, and you get a reward. So it's really abstract in that way, but it's a lot of fun. It really is a lot of fun. And we'll see. I might end up buying this one again in about 5 years. So we'll see. But that is everything that is leaving my collection this year. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Be sure to enter that contest to win 6 more games that are also leaving my collection. I will make a separate video once those games have been sent out, or I'll release a separate video once those games have been sent out, letting everyone know what those 6 games were as well. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you like my channel, please subscribe. And until next time, if you're bored online or offline.